We've got another maintenance job on the farm, and this time it's on our Massey Ferguson 2720 tractor, which is 1983, and it's about 150 horsepower. It's got a Perkins 6354 turbo and intercooled on it. And what the problem was, I noticed that the bearing on the drive shaft to the front axle was loose. What I'm doing now, I'm just pushing the new bearings on the pinion. I'm just using I've got a big vise in the workshop. I'm just about managing to do it. I've taken the diff out, and I've just cleaned the inside of the axle out. That's the inside the axle, and the actual diff is here. There wasn't a lot. I don't think there's a lot wrong with that. It's a bearing, it's a little bit of play in the bearing, so I have to take a shim out and see if I can. The bearings are supposed to be tight, but turn easy, so I'll see if I can get them like that. And the bolt I broke off here, the Stunnage tractor wouldn't undo it, so I drilled it out a bit bigger. I think it was 3/8 originally, and I think it's 7/6. I think it's 7/16 now. I tapped it out 7/16 Whitworth, and I got a 7/16 Whitworth bolt which I can put in there. But there you go. Anyway, I've taken the casting housing which holds the diff. I've just taken it around to the workshop because I'm going to install the pinion in it and set that up right. And so we'll see how that goes. This is the casting that bolts onto the axle and holds the diff. So one diff bearing goes in there, and the other one clamps in here. Look, I didn't do that well. The previous owner has welded the diff up. Done quite a good job of it, I would say. Obviously they left it longer than I did. So what I've got to do is put this new cup. That's the old cup, which come out of there. The pinion goes in here. This is the pinion in here. This goes in here. So that I've got to put that cup in there. This is the old cup, and the cup, when I took it out, it came out quite easy. So when I put the new cup, which is in here, I'm going to put some bearing retainer on it, so it sticks in there nice, because I don't think it was in there that tight. So let's see how we go. Well, I've got the bearing cap in there with some retainer around it. It doesn't seem to go all the way in the hole, and well, yeah, so I ended up putting the old bearing cap on the top with some packing, with some bits of washer and stuff, and then put the hub on, a couple of bolts, tightened it up, and it still wouldn't go any further, so I think that's where it goes. It seemed to be about the right height when I put the pinion in there. This is the pinion with two rotating roller bearings, and basically this just goes in here like that. Then you've got a new cup, and that goes in there like that. This goes over the top with some shims that go on there, and you adjust the preload in the bearing by the shims. And there's two shims. There's two shims there. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to do a test one now with the two shims and see how tight it is. Anyway, I've tightened it up with these two shims on it, and it was a little slack, a little bit of play, and turned easy. It's supposed to be quite tight. You're supposed to put a bit of string around it and put it a certain number of kilos, so it's supposed to be quite stiff to turn. So I'm going to make up these shims. None of the shims are available to buy from Massey Dealer, so I've got some farm shim material here, so I'm going to make up a shim out of a beer can. I've now put two thicknesses of beer can shims on it, and it's taken the play out, but it still turns very easily. It's supposed to wrap a bit of string around it and pull it with a balance, spring balance, especially 4.4 kilograms of pull on the string, and it's supposed to turn with difficulty at 4.4 kilograms, so it needs to be a bit tighter. I'm not even going to put the string on it yet, because I can tell it's not tight enough. So I've got some thicker aluminium, which is 0.5, because beer can's 0.1, so I've got 0.2 there at the moment. So I reckon I'm going to take the beer can out and put a 0.5 there and see what it's like then. Because at least then, if 0.5 doesn't do it, I can put another beer can on there. So anyway, I'm going to make some other shims up now. I've now found an old steel can. I think it's a thinner can, and that's 0.4 of a mil thick. So I've cut one out of that, and they're going to see how it tightens up. I'm not sure about the aluminium. It might squash out into on a high load situation, so I'm going to try and use steel. Right now I've put the 0.4 millimeter bit of steel shim in, and it turned stiff by hand, so I thought I'd measure it with my spring balance. The book says it's supposed to turn stiffly at 4.4 kilos on the spring balance, and so if I pull this, the kilograms is the outside numbers, not the inside. The inside's pounds, so let's keep an eye on the outside numbers. So yeah, that's turning. So that's pulling there, pulling about 4. Turns stiffly. It's turning. It's just about turning at 4.5. So I reckon that will do. I reckon that'll do. So if I took another one of the thin shims out, I reckon it will be lot less than that. So I'm quite happy with that. I'm just about to put the differential back in with the pinion. There's the pinion in there, and this is the actual differential and crown wheel, and I've got to put that. This bearing goes in this in that there, and then I've got to put some put the bearing on top and shim the bearing up on top, so it turns without any play. So that might take a little while. What I'm doing now is I've just put some new bearings on the diff, because I went to fit it in and I noticed the races were worn. So my best just I managed to get one in on the fly press, and then I couldn't fit it in the fly press, so I just squashed it on the vise with some bearing fit, and that seems to have got on quite nice. These are the old bearings, so I've used the old bearings to push the new bearings on, which is saves looking around for washers and stuff. So each of these bearings was about 150 quid each, so sometimes you just got to keep throwing money at it till you get there. Well, I'm just about to put the differential unit back in the axle. I've put new bearings, end bearings on the crown wheel there, and I had to make up some new shims. Here some were out of an old paint thinner can under the bench, and some were stainless steel back of my old microwave. So always keep everything, you never know when it's going to come in handy. And I'm going to do the gasket with some instant gasket, because the Massey no longer sells the gasket. Right, I'm going to clean it off with meths and then put it in. And now I've put my instant gasket around there. I'm just sliding it in on a bit of sheet metal because it's quite heavy. I'm just sort of levering it in a bit at a time. Got the sheet metal under there, so I've cleaned it all off, surface off with meth. And there's two sort of like roll pin dowels here, so you locate them and put those two bolts in first, and then it should pull up square. Right, let's have a go. I've now got it on there. I'll just tighten the ring of bolts up with my bar, tight as I can do it. I might go around with a rag now and just take the surplus cement off. Well, I've just managed to push this seal, this big 200mm seal in here, and I've done it by I had the old seal on top to protect the new seal. I centered that on a new seal. Then I got this, it's 195 bit of pipe I got from my local steel place. He cut it off square for me, and then I basically put this on top with a bolt, and centered the studding, and did the nut up, and it still went slightly one side. So then I moved the studding over a little bit, got the other side in, and then it pushed down all right. Now we've just completed putting the half shafts back in, and this side we had a bit of rod through here, a bit of jiggery pokery it went in. You had to tap the end of it to get the O-ring in, and then the other side. Then the other side we had a loop of string around it and another bit of rod moving it about, and again we had to tap it in again because it wasn't going to push in by hand. And there's a scratch on this one on the actual housing, so I put a bit of gasket sealed it over the scratch and pushed it in over it, so hopefully that will seal it. So what I'm going to do now is going to fill it up with oil. Before I do anything else, I'm going to fill it up with oil and make sure nothing runs out anyway. Now what I'm doing now is I've been trying to fit these cones which are on the steering mechanism. There's a male and a female cone, and they're held in by these bolts, and I think the end of the bolts must have protruded slightly. When I've undone them, the rusty bit that's protruded has damaged the thread in the casting here, and I found some of the bolts were damaged, so I've had to order some new bolts, £5 a bolt. And then I bought I wanted to clean the thread up, so I bought a second-hand tap off eBay, and I've been cleaning the threads up, which is really working really well. I got a second-hand dormer tap, and it's M12 metric fine, and it's just to clean them up beautiful. So so when I pick up my £5 bolts from the Massey dealer tomorrow, they should go in a treat. I've just managed to put the wheels back on, and I was just thinking, do I take those wooden wedges out now or after I let it down? I think I might take them out now, because if I let them down, one of them's going to be very hard to get out. So I think I'll take the wooden wedges out, take my axle stands away under the sump, let it down, then I can final tighten my nuts, and then I can put my shaft on. And I've now finally got the tractor back together. I thought I'd do a quick video of my bearings. And these bearings go either side of the differential, and these two are off the end of the half shafts, gone into the half shafts, and that one was on the shaft. These were just a little bit they weren't too bad, they were just a bit rumbly, as I say. This one was actually loose, and was loose on the shaft and loose in the housing. And these were one of them, where's this one? One of them had a, there you are, had a mark there. Look, I couldn't put it back like that. The other one wasn't too bad, and the pinion ones, well, that was all slack, so I wasn't going to shim it up, so I put it all new. And I put new seals either end, and new seals on the wheels as well. I've just finally completed the 2720 front axle job. I did put it all together once before, and I did some work with it on the spring barley, and this I put this bearing on with high strength bearing retainer, and that bearing came loose. And when I put it together, I noticed the spline on here was worn and this coupling was worn. But we needed the tractor, so I put it together, and I bought a new coupling. And then once we started to bring barley, I took the shaft to an engineering workshop, and they welded the spline up and ground it down and welded this up so the bearing went on tight. So and I bought, like I said, I bought a new coupling as well, because they're still available. The shaft isn't available anymore, but the coupling was. So now that's a lot better, so hopefully it'll be okay now. So everything else is okay, apart from the steering ram's developed a little leak, so I'll have to sort that out. It's a leak worse when it's warm, but I think I'll try and get that off and sort that out another time. So that's it for the 2720 videos. I hope you like the video. If you do like it, don't forget to press the like button and subscribe.